All right, so a bit of bad news. I don't like this at all. So I'm just gonna break this up, which sucks because I had it just like I wanted it basically. If I get it to focus. I'm gonna have to use another piece of mesquite and have to start all over again because I don't have a piece of wood thick enough to get the design I want, which is, this is the design. See if I can actually do it again. So yeah, so I gotta break this up. I've never done that before. We'll see how that goes. It's probably gonna be a pain. I'm gonna try to do as much as I can without putting any impact on the knife itself. I have to like double tape it now. All right, so I'll do that. All right, so let's see what happens. See how easy this would have been to take off. This sucks. All right, do this side a little bit. Could I keep one side? Maybe. No, I can't. All right, so I'm not going to show the whole thing. Let me just do one more piece. You can't really see it because it keeps focusing on my hand. Whatever. I just want to stop before I get to the actual steel. Yeah, okay, so I'll start just getting rid of the rest of it off camera. All right, so I was planning on heating up the pins themselves, just the pins, and then pulling them out, but I already took one out. Let's see the biggest one. If I can do it to this guy. You can actually just twist it. And then after you twist it, you can just take it out. Let's see if I actually can do it. Probably do it on a easier one. No, here we go. Oh shit! All right, there we go. Just take what you can use, but don't do exactly what I do. All right. So now that I have the pins out, I'm just gonna use a razor just to take off as much as I can. And then once I do that, I'll just I'll just sand it basically. So yeah, so then after I sand it, I gotta choose the wood again, choose a piece, and then hopefully I either choose better or I have better luck once I redo the handle. So yeah, once I have the piece of wood in scale form, I'll show it to you again, and I'm gonna choose again and draw it out, and we'll see how my luck turns out, or how well I choose. All right, so I went through what I have in terms of scale material, and I found this is iron bark. I think I'm just gonna use this. It's relatively thick. It's not as thick as the piece I used, but I think it's close enough that I can actually redo that general shape. So yeah, this is much harder. It has to have wood in my mind. If I use 80 CRV2, if I use a carbon steel, like old-timey carbon steel, I have to use a wood handle. So now I'm gonna use this. So I gotta sand it. I have to choose an area, trace it, and then I have to just cut it out. Same thing, basically what I did, and then glue it and pin it. So I'll show you when I cut it out, and then I'll show you when I glue it and pin it afterwards. So yeah, so I'm gonna just work on this instead. All right, so I'm scratching everything again just to epoxy it together. And just a tip, I like to use a scribe line for the ends closest to the end of the handle, because you can't really get that close. I use sandpaper for the rest, like super low sandpaper. I use that for everything else. I crisscross it, but up here you can't be that accurate with sandpaper, so I just use a scribe line and just crisscross it there. Just a tip. All right, so for the second time, here it is. All right, so once again, 24 hours, and then I'll come back to this. All right, so I have this profiled already, and it's gonna be the same thing again. So basically, I'm gonna draw it out with pencil. It's gonna be something like this, elongated again. Draw it out with pencil, try to get this belly as long as as big as I want, as big as I can. And I think maybe the only change I'm gonna make is I'll probably, instead of having this into a point, I'll maybe flare it out like this. So keep this width here too. I don't know. The one thing I want to do is, the other one I did like a seahorse belly, and I kind of want to do that again. See if I can actually do it one more time. The problem is I'm working with less material. So yeah. All right, so I'll draw it in pen, and then draw it in marker, and then I'll get started. All right, so here it is, roughly formed. And I could not do the cheeks on this thing. It wasn't thick enough, but I got the general shape of it, what I wanted. This looks a lot like just micarta, which is kind of nuts. It's supposed to be iron bark, but it feels and just looks like micarta, which is weird. So yeah. All right, so now I gotta sand all this. Okay. All right, here it is. You know, I thought that mesquite wood made my hands black, and I think actually it's copper. Copper makes my hands black. It's kind of nuts. So yeah, so now what I have to do last thing is is take this tape off and then finish sharpening it. So I did convex the edge, but I left it like barely like almost touching, and then I just had to put the edge on it, put my maker's mark, and then put the date and the material, 80 CRV2. So I'll do that, and that'll be the last step of this knife. Show you the handle up close. This wood is actually very nice, surprisingly nice. So some changes I did was, this is now flat instead of pointy. This is now flat instead of round. I couldn't do the width I wanted, but whatever. I left it as close as I could to what I wanted. All right, so here it is. There's my maker's mark. I sharpened it already. The day I sharpen it is the date I put on the knife itself. That's today, 80 CRV2. And so now on the next video, I'll do like a closer close-up of the whole knife and stuff like that. I'll cut with it. I'll talk about what it's kind of for, just in terms of the kind of edge it has and all that stuff. And then I'll talk about how much it cost me to actually make it. Um, I'll have a like a price decided too on what I'm gonna look for, and then hopefully by then too I'll have I'll know where I'm gonna sell it also. So yeah, that'll be the next video. Okay, all right, bye.